St. Louis Grinds is sponsored by Undeniably Dairy, your local Midwest farm families. Espresso Yourself. It's more than a clever name. It's a coffee shop in the South Hampton neighborhood where two sisters expresses themselves with a one-of-a-kind coffee shop that will make you feel like you're on a farm. Now, they've collected items throughout their lifetime that's displayed all over the wall. They have amazing coffee like the French toast latte, and make sure to get their caffeinated cubes. They have a great breakfast lineup. They make their yogurt in-house, which is a great treat any time of the day, and they even have a sandwich shop next door. I sat down with Jules and Tracy to learn a little bit more about their inspiration behind Espresso Yourself and Sisters Sandwich Shop. I'm here with Jules and Tracy of Espresso Yourself. How are you all doing this morning?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
All right, so you all have a very beautiful coffee shop, and you also have a sandwich shop we'll get into later. Let's talk about the coffee shop. What inspired you to get it up and running? And it's a very unique spot, so I'm excited to learn.
Well, we had always joked about starting a business together, and she briefly worked at a coffee shop over in Columbia, Illinois, and when they were
I fell in love with it. Just a similar vibe to what we've created.
and she said, if I could pick this up and bring it over here, we could do that. It's like, okay, well, let's do that.
Yeah.
So
We talked about it for about 3 or 4 years before we actually just said,
I was
let's
tired
stop
of talking.
talking and get her done.
We're in the show me state, so you're like,
That's right.
let me just show you.
Exactly.
That's right.
Now, where did the inspiration behind the name come from? And then we have to talk about the decor, the ambiance. Where did that come from?
When we were talking about names, I actually had Espresso Yourself tattooed 2 years before we opened. So someone said, just look at your arm. It's like, oh, okay. So that's where that came from.
We were tossing different names around, and one of us, don't even remember which one, looked at her arm and said, I guess that's it.
Now, what about the decor? Because the ambiance in here, like I was saying off camera, it feels like I'm on the set of a TV show. I mean, everything looks amazing together, and it fits so well.
Well,
That's me.
It's her. She does all the decorating. We've got the espresso side and then the sister sandwich shop side, which you said we'll chat later. Espresso has a lot, well, they both have a lot of things from our childhood. I mean, there's a mirror and a picture that we're literally hanging in our house growing up. Really a reflection of her home.
Well, it's amazing. Like you said, you look in that mirror every day, and now look where you're at. You know, you two are working, and like when it comes to your coffee, you all have something I really, really love. Those caffeinated ice cubes.
Coffee cubes.
Coffee cubes.
Yes, we call them coffee cubes.
They are literally just frozen coffee that we make. We have to make them every single day because they're so popular. A lot of times people will ask, do you want regular ice cubes or coffee cubes? And they're like, wow. So they just keep your drink from watering down. If you're getting an iced coffee, you just want to keep it coffee. You don't want to turn it into water.
Watery.
Exactly.
We literally fill ice cube trays, put them in the freezer overnight, and yeah, there you have it.
Especially like on a hot day, I'll come here and I'll just get it. Like, there's no question. Would you like the cube? Of course, give me the caffeinated cubes.
Right.
And then you all also, on that side, on the Espresso Yourself side, you all make like your own, you guys have breakfast, you make your own yogurt, is that correct?
We do. And an Instapot. Super easy, but really good.
Hey.
Don't give away our
Other
secrets.
people have tried to make it and it doesn't turn out as good. I don't know.
We do. We make the burritos are house made. The breakfast bowls, which is the sweet potato and sausage and egg and cheese, those are made in house. The yogurt, the muffins. So we try to make as much as we can in house.
That's amazing.
But then the other items, some of the baked goods, we always source locally from local bakers.
I was gonna say, you can't go wrong with yogurt any time of the day.
Right.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Absolutely.
Good
Some
source
fresh
of energy.
fruit and some locally sourced granola.
Right.
Now you all also have, let's talk about the sandwich shop. Did that fall in line kind of like, okay, now we have the coffee, we also wanted to do sandwich, or was it like later on?
No, it wasn't anything like
I
that.
know. When we first opened Espresso Yourself, it'll be 5 years in September. There was a retail store here on this side currently sisters. And during COVID, it ended up closing, and she moved to another location, so the space came available. Shortly before we opened in 2018, there had been a deli down the street, and they had an incident where they closed and were unable to reopen. So people had mentioned that there was a bit of a void in the neighborhood. They missed having a deli, a sandwich shop nearby. And sorry, so we decided, what the heck? Bagels.
Now, when people are coming here for the very first time, what can they expect?
Hopefully, first in the door, a friendly, welcoming vibe. You know. We, like I said, the espresso side, the decor is kind of a warm, homey.
Farmhouse, eclectic, boho.
Right. But then when you step through the wall, because like I said, we acquired the space next door, we cut a hole through the wall, so you can actually come in one and cross over to the other. It's more of a 1965 to 1985
It just feels
retro
good.
vibe.
Yeah.
You know,
Nostalgic.
yeah, we've got, you know, the Formica tables and
It's more wood and warmth on the coffee shop side, and more of the. We kind of wanted to go for a diner vibe, but I think we did more of the vintage nostalgia.
there's a lot of pictures of us growing up.
Oh, that's awesome.
On the back wall, there's pictures of, you know,
Our family.
our grandparents, our family members, our dogs growing up. things
Mr.
like
Rogers.
that. We've got the whole
Yeah.
wall of different shows from our childhood. We call it the wall of the people who raised us,
Oh, that's awesome.
because we, like many, were latchkey kids who came home from school, plopped on the couch, and watched TV for hours.
And so when it comes to your coffee beans, where do you all source it from?
String Bean is a local roaster.
I went to high school
Jules
with
went to high
Peter.
school, and he was very
St. Louis, right?
Right.
High
Very-
school.
He
Yep,
helped
where'd
us
you go to
with
high school?
he helped us get things started, you know, as far as researching our espresso machine and all kinds of things. We also have a custom blend that we collaborated with La Cosecha in Maplewood. So they make our Good Vibes Only blend.
That's awesome. And pastries, do you all source, or do you all, you mentioned that you get some of your pastries from around St. Louis. What are some of the shops that you all also support?
We get our quiche and one of our gluten-free scones from the barn in Crestwood. And then we get one of our cookies and the other scones from Sifted. And
The bagels are from Bridge Bread down on Cherokee. That's also where we get all of our bread that we use at the sandwich shop.
That's awesome.
So our chips come from
the goat,
the Goat
brand.
brand.
The goat.
So yeah, we are very big about on trying to source those. All of our produce comes from Rogers Produce in Webster.
It's local, supporting local, supporting local.
Yep.
And that's what St. Louis is all about.
It
Absolutely.
is. Proud to do it.
Ones that we watched.
Well, as a resident of Soha, we appreciate all that you all do. And let's cheers to that.
Cheers. Good vibes all around.
Espresso.
On next week's episode, we're going to visit a coffee shop and really dive into what that cup of coffee means to all of us. Because it's a lot more than just something to wake us up. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next week.